Welcome back into the Sports Source. Mike Strange making good points in between segments there. You'll never know what we're talking about. Actually, we may talk about that in our overtime segment today. This segment of our show brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Bed bugs. If I stay in a hotel, I first go online and check for bed bug reports of that hotel. Don't want to bring those things home. But if you do, the folks to call are Southeast Termite and Pest Control. It is a growing problem as we've become a society that travels more and more. Bed bugs are making a return. Fix the issue if it somehow happens to you. Southeast Termite and Pest Control, they are great for bed bug treatment solutions. All right, still got Peyton Manning, Jordan McRae, Josh Dobbs, and Super Bowl Vols to talk about. But quickly, let's talk about the Lady Vols troubles. Dan Flesser of the News Sentinel had some scary numbers in a column this week. Tennessee's lost 5 of 7 games for the first time since 1986. They've started 3-4 in SEC play for the first time since 1986. Lost to Mississippi State for the first time, period. Currently 9th in the SEC standings, but 13th in national RPI. And could be out of the top 25 for the first time in many a year.
30.
We talked about this last week, 1986. We talked about this last week in our overtime segment. Mark, your thoughts on the heat that Holly Warlick is feeling right now?
I was thinking about pulling a Donald Trump and not showing up for this segment when with the tough questions starting to come.
Instead, you're going to give a great answer.
Yeah,
it's great.
Exactly.
It's not a real answer, but it's great.
Exactly. But yes, you look at this team and what we grew up on or what we knew about Lady Vols being tough, defensive-minded, and then to see that they're 85th in rebound margin and 100 and something in defensive field goal percentage. The Diamond Shields, she's getting a lot of shots up, but the productivity from a standpoint of taking care of the basketball, her and Mercedes Russell have a almost double to triple assist to turnover ratio on the negative side. So they're just not playing solid basketball. When you can't shoot from the perimeter, you're shooting 25% from 3. You allow the defense to make you a one-dimensional team. And women's basketball is getting better, and we're just struggling to get those wins.
I've said all year, I don't see anybody making a coaching change at the end of this season with Holly Warlick. But I will say that as the losing adds up, and they lost 2 close ones this week. You hit a layup in either of those games, you win it. But as the losing builds, I think the rancor builds, the amount of grumbling builds. Is there a point where you could actually go so far off the rails that there could be a coaching change this year, or do you think she's safe no matter what?
I don't think you can make a change this year, and just because of what she's
SEC title, at least one SEC title, either conference title or tournament title in each of her first 3 years.
John, I am very, very surprised by the level of the people that are willing to throw Holly under the bus and get ready, got to fire Holly this year. Because of what she's done the last 3 years has been very credible. What she did that year where Pat was still the titular coach, but Holly ran the team, and Holly's been there so long, and she's a Knoxville. I'm just surprised so many people are willing to throw one of their own who's given so much under the bus in 1 year.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not. That's why all these people want Peyton Manning to come back here. Go ahead. You'll hate him after his first loss. That's what happens. She needs to ask Philip Fulmer and Johnny Majors about how easy it is when you're coming home, or Randy Sanders, or Chuck Smith. I see what you're coming from, but you're much nicer than I am. I think people are just rotten. You lose, you're gone. I don't care who you are and what your name is.
Yeah, but the level of anger and unhappiness, I mean, it's not being exaggerated. That is the way that fans have felt it. At least from my radio show's standpoint, we've never gotten this amount of unsolicited interest in the Lady Vols, and it's almost all fire Holly Warlick.
See, and I think that's interesting too. Winning, nobody calls. Losing, more calls than you've ever had.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people who've never watched the Lady Vols, but they just want somebody fired because they're losing. We've seen that in baseball. Mm-hmm. You don't go look at the baseball attendance over there, but then go look at the comments on message boards after a baseball loss. Chuck, is it too overblown? The heat. We're at the end of January. There's 2 months to play. It was just 2 years ago. Tennessee's men's team went from crummy to a Sweet 16 like that.
Which I think on one hand you want to say, hey, evaluate it at the end of the season and let's see what they end up doing. But to me, it's the way they're losing. It's like what Mark said. It's not taking care of the basketball. You're not playing defense. And Diamond DeShields has got to, I think she has got to adjust her role. She keeps putting up shots, and she's missing way too many and having, even on these little soft, casual little bounce passes. When it's a one-possession game, you got to take care of the basketball. You got to get back to the things that win games.
Right. And here's the
Very quickly, Mark.
VFL, Ball for Life, like Mike said. Where does that hold up to all that she's done for this program to already within 4 months into a season gone?
Doesn't matter.
It's amazing.
Counts for
It is
nothing.
amazing.
Vol for life. You're a Vol for life until we get rid of you. And it's not just Tennessee fans. That's just
Till that plug
that's
gets
everybody.
pulled.
Yeah, and that's just for everybody. You better win or you're gone. All this stuff about we want to bring a Tennessee guy home or a Tennessee girl never win. It never ends well ever for anybody. Mike looks at me like I'm crazy because Mike believes in humanity.
Well, no.
Mike is a good guy. I don't believe. I think we're right.
I'm looking at you because it doesn't end well for anybody, whether they're Tennessee or where they're from.
Right. So that's why I don't understand it. To me, I would rather go get somebody who's not from Tennessee because this is going to end badly. So let's not ruin the relationship of the next Vol. Don't bring back a Vol coach. All right. When we come back, Peyton, Jordan McCray, Josh Dobbs, tons of stuff coming back on Sports Source.
From East Tennessee to Kentucky, no job is too small for Benedict Construction. Electrical work, heating and air installation, even carports and garages. With a reputation for excellence, rely on the custom work of Benedict Construction.